Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Anglers RX podcast. Tonight we've got the top three contenders at the YAMAMOTO tournament up at Clear Lake. It was last weekend. So, Matt Brannon, who took first place. You got Shane LemMon, took second, and we got Remy, who I just figured out was Casey Remy's brother. So that's pretty awesome. So two sticks there. So hey, guys, congratulations to all three of you.
Yeah, great job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was a fun event for sure.
Yeah. So, Shane, I'm going to start with you real quick. Why don't you tell us what the YAMAMOTO tournament's all about? I know you're kind of probably a little bit of an influencer in getting that kayak tournament going, right?
Yeah, they reached out about three months ago or 4 months ago and kind of put it together a little bit last minute. That's why everybody saw it like a month before it went live. But they do something similar throughout the country, but they use it's called the Battle of the Brands. So you're able to use like Bill Lewis and Buckeye and a bunch of their brands. And they've done that this year, I think, for the first time across the country, kind of spinning off the Bill Lewis Rattle Trap tournament, which has been going on for a long time. And they wanted to do a Yamamoto Baits only tournament out here, and they said it was going to be on Clear Lake. And I mean, obviously, I was excited. Anytime I get an excuse to go up to Clear Lake, I figured a lot of the other guys would be excited too. And they put it together last minute with the ABA, and I thought Craig and everybody, the PSN team, all the way to the ABA team. I mean, the tournament was really, really fun, and the fishing was awesome as well. So, yeah, it was a good time, and they said they're going to come back next year too, which is what we were kind of hoping for. So,
Good.
They're coming back again next year.
Nice.
Same time of year, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, now that I know what's going on, I'll make sure I'll be there for sure. This year's been wonky for me, but if you all don't know, Shane came all the way up here from Southern California. And I think Brad also, who took big fish, had a 23 3/4 inch bass.
Yeah.
He had something going on this evening, and I know he wanted to be on, but he came from Southern California. Who else came up from Southern California? Anybody?
Yeah, James Choi was with us, Greg Ellingson. I think that was it. I hope I'm not missing somebody else, but I think there was just 4 of us from down here.
Yeah, that's a hell of a trek.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, how many hours is that?
Oh man,
it's about 10 hours. Like when it says 7 hours and like 50 minutes when you plug it in first, but with all with the stops and stuff, you're easily 10 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And if you decide to pull over and take a nap,
Clear Lake is worth
pull over and take a
mile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's Johnny's pace right there. He's just to go to Lake Don Pedro, he's got to pull over for a 20-minute nap. So
tell everybody, Shane, about when you were going through my town or by my town.
Oh yeah. Well, I left Wednesday at like 10 p.m. because I'm just, any second I get away from the house, anytime I'm able to get away, as soon as the wife gives me the green light, I'm not sleeping. I'm done. So at like 10 o'clock was that time. So I took off, and then about, I don't know, like 4 in the morning, I want to say, John, or 3 in the morning, I called John and I'm like, hey, like, are you about to, get on the freeway, or where are you at? And I was literally like pulling up on his exit as he was pulling onto the freeway.
Oh,
and
wow.
The timing on that was pretty wild.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
We were able to kind of follow each other up there from there. Yeah. But, and that wasn't planned at all. It was pretty crazy how that worked out.
So Shane, you got up there in time for like 1 day of practice? Or
I had like a day and a half basically. I got up there about 10 a.m. on Thursday. Fish for about 5 hours on Thursday, and then fish for like 8 hours or so on Friday.
Okay. Dana, how about you? Did you get much time to get on the water prior to the tournament?
Actually, I only got up there on Friday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I haven't been up there in a couple months, so
Okay.
I pretty much didn't have any clue what I was going to do.
Yeah, you're going in blind. That's yeah, wow. Matt, Matt's the Clear Lake Ninja. Has been at least this year. So
Yeah, I'm up there every weekend. I did take Friday off before the tournament to go up though.
Did you? Wow. So how'd practice go for you guys?
Go ahead, Dana.
All right, I'll start. Practice. I got up there, in the dark on Friday and didn't really know where I was going to go. Just happened to decide to fish up north. I heard about some bites happening with the chatterbait, spinnerbait, and some swim bait fish, but I'm like, that's really not my thing, and I haven't been doing it in a while. So I'm like, I'm just going to go have fun. This tournament was just going to be go out there, see if I catch some fish, doing what I think I'm good at, which is throwing a shaky head. So I started off pre-fishing with the chatterbait and the spinnerbait just to see if it was happening, and I didn't get a single look for a couple hours. So I ended up finding a couple docks. Decided to flip a worm along the pillars, and out in front, I saw a couple rock piles, hit them, ended up catching a couple fish. Had a good feeling, decided to leave it alone. So I ended up leaving the area, just going up north, even towards Rodman Slough, and just places I fished in the past and I've caught fish at and decent fish. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go see what's up there, and I did, and I caught a few fish, but nothing big. I don't think I caught one over 16 inches all day, and I pretty much called it early, about 2:30. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just here to have fun. Don't try to overthink this, and just, call it a day. Be back tomorrow.
Sure. Well, that's what we typically do as fishermen. We overthink everything.
Especially
Typically.
me.
Yeah. So you launched, where did you launch on practice day?
Keeling Park.
Okay. Matt, how'd it go for you?
So I repowered my Ranger about a month ago when my E-Tech finally died, and I was planning on fishing the boat side. So I ran all over the lake for the weekends prior to the tournament. And matter of fact, I even told Shane that I wasn't fishing the kayak side.
Matt, I was just looking for that text that I texted you. I said, I know it's Clear Lake, but if I get the win, I want you and Pua to be in it. So it's not a real win. And it wouldn't have been, see? So.
It was crazy, though, because, leading up to that, I was catching big fish all over. It didn't matter, north, south, mid-lake. A lot of reaction bites, a lot of chatterbait. Practice day on Friday before the tournament, I took the kayak up. I hit 3 different launches Friday, and I might have had 7 pounds for my best 5 fish. And I told the guys, I was like, I'm not on anything, just nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, practice was not that great.
That's crazy. Shane, how'd it go for you? I saw a few of your posts.
Yeah,
seems like you.
Kind of the same story for me with size. I've only been to Clear Lake maybe a handful of times, and I've always kind of concentrated from state parks south. I've never been up north, really, County Park and Library Park, and I've just never been up there before. So I was like, you know what, this year at this time at least, I'm gonna go up there and just kind of look at the water and see what I can find out up there. And I launched at a Library Park on that first day, and I being from where I'm at now down here in Southern California at Canyon Lake. It's a private lake, and it's a power fishing lake. So the last couple years, I have just really been able to hone in power fishing. I haven't really caught a fish on kind of a spinning rod in a really long time. So I took that mentality of I'm going to go power fish up there. It's Clear Lake, and I got a chatterbait in my hand right away. And within 5 minutes of when I launched that library, I caught a fish, went around the corner, caught another fish on the chatterbait. It was just boom, boom, boom. Picked up the spinnerbait, caught a fish, and I'm like, holy moly! I got really lucky. I found a decent area. It has fish. I caught 5 fish in about an hour, and it was just one after another. And then I got completely away from that area to try to expand on that spot that I had found in practice. and didn't really catch anything above like 17 inches though, like that whole day. But I found like a concentration of fish in this one specific spot. And then the second day I went I went to State Park the second day. And because I kind of had this feeling that they had the bait like pushed in the bays, not like in the. I hit some of the what are they called, like the key, like kind of like the keys area, like the little. What's that spot called by the
Lakeport Lagoons?
Yeah, lagoon. Like I thought they might be pushing bait into those kind of areas or the back of creeks and stuff like that. But John and Brad and those guys, they went into Rodman and they didn't really find much, so I didn't even think about that. But I just kind of started to put together that they had fish pushed in like the bays, so or bait pushed in the bays at least. So I hit Soda Bay and hit kind of around State Park and caught a lot of fish, but no size. And then that's kind of how my practice went too. It was just kind of like, man, I need to find some bigger fish. But all my fish came on a chatterbait and a spinnerbait for the most part, like 95% of them. I picked up a Cinco for a little bit. I tried flipping a little bit. Didn't really get much there, so it was all power fishing.
Yeah, so Southern California lakes, that's what I was going to ask you, is like pretty close to similarity, like from Southern California to Clear Lake. You guys power fish a lot down there, right?
Well, no, not really. Not like our typical bodies of water, like San Vicente, Otay, Paris. You can power fish, but majority of the pattern out here is just soaking a worm or throwing a Cinco.
Gotcha.
A lot of clear water reservoirs. It's a lot of high pressure reservoirs too. There's a ton of pressure on these lakes.
Ton of pressure, yeah.
But where I live specifically, you can power fish basically all year, and which makes it unique. So like my little reservoir is unique, and I'm able to power fish, which I felt super comfortable doing that at Clear Lake now.
Yeah.
So we don't do a lot of power fishing down here for the most of the guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So coming out to tournament day, let's start with Dana. You took third place. Where did you decide to launch, and where did you go from there?
Well, on the way up there, my brother and I were, following each other, and he was going to fish Rodman. So I actually didn't know where I was going to launch until I pulled over at Rodman and talked to him. And I didn't want to fish the same area he was fishing. So I was just like, I don't really know where to go. I'm just going to go where I went yesterday. I'm going to go to Keeling Park. So I launched at Keeling Park and decided that, I'm here to have fun. I just want to catch some fish. I know I caught a handful of fish yesterday. I'm just going to stick in the areas that I feel like the fish were holding. And I did find a couple rock piles off the end of some docks that I didn't really fish a whole lot. And I just thought, you know what? I think my best bet is just to be more thorough in the areas where I caught fish. And so that's what I did.
Same pattern and everything?
So I pretty much was throwing the sensei worm on a shaky head.
Okay.
I think it's just when I started fishing artificials many years ago, that's just a shaky head was one of the first baits that I threw. And I think I just got really comfortable with it over years.
Sure.
And so I've noticed in the last couple of years, I've been doing kayak tournaments. That seems to be the bait where I do better in my tournaments, and I do catch some decent fish on that bait, and I'm very thorough with it. So I just had a lot of confidence with it. And I'm not a power fisherman. I've never really been. I force myself to do it when I do it, and I'm around a bunch of people that do it. So, but to me, power fishing is more about a feeling. And if I don't have the feeling, I've learned, especially the last couple of years, just put it aside. So I decided to finesse this tournament. And plus, because I hadn't been up there in a while, I didn't really have any water that I was super confident on. I'm just going to catch fish. Whatever happens, happens. And so I basically, pre-fishing, I covered a bunch of docks, but I only caught fish on basically a set of 4 docks in a row. And I pretty much caught every single fish on a shaky head tournament day, probably about 25, 30 fish.
Wow.
But the
That's a
unfortunate
good
part
day
is,
of fishing.
yeah, and I had guys coming in boats all around me that I don't know if I was in a spot where they were used to catching fish, because I mean I had Off-Strander pulling up beside me a couple times that day, Sean Pearl. I've had a bunch of local guys that I recognize, Zach. I mean, they all showed up in the same area I was fishing, and almost like staring me down, like I was in a spot they wanted to fish, and I had no idea. I've never really spent much time there in the past on that specific area, but it was pretty close to Holiday Harbor, and those guys fished that place hard, and I was watching them fish all day and didn't see them catch a single fish actually, and I felt pretty good that I knew I caught a few fish. Like almost all of them were in that area. Like I said, about 20 to 25 of my fish were probably off the same set of 3-4 docks.
Mm-hmm.
So how were you working the shaky head?
It was really boring. Let's put it that way. Basically, I've learned to fish a shaky head similar to how I fish a jig, which is the slowest drag you can possibly handle. And I'm a little more patient than most people, I think, with that bait. So I would literally let it sit 10 seconds before moving it about a foot. And then sometimes I'd shake it and rattle it for about 2 seconds. And then I'd let it sit for, 5 to 10 seconds before I moved it 6 inches. And both my two larger fish basically ate it under the kayak away from the docks. Like when I was sitting between two docks, and they ate it in 6 foot of water underneath my kayak, 21.5 inch and a, 20.5 were just under my kayak in 6 foot of water when they picked up the bait. So I think and I let it sit there, and I just, I could tell a lot of my bites weren't happening on the end of a cast. They were happening at right about the time I wanted to bring it in. So I would just learn to just be patient, and that's when most of my fish were hitting as they got after the bait. I don't know why, but they wanted it closer to the kayak.
Mm-hmm.
They like pull it all the way back and like, all right, if it moves one more time,
I guess so.
Right.
Nose down, closer. Oh, finally, I'm gonna hit it.
Dana's got this thing looking so realistic. If it moves one more time, I'm biting that thing.
Yeah.
No, I must tell you,
That's cool, man.
I don't mind fishing slow. Like I said, I grew up. My dad, was pretty much we'd throw an anchor out, and we'd fish, in a spot all day long. We wouldn't be moving spots. It was, because he was a live bait guy, and I grew up doing that. So I learned to just be patient and let the fish, when they were ready to eat, they were going to eat. Put yourself in an area where the fish are going to be, and that's where I would spend my time. And I still go back to that when I think about it and say that's what I should be doing now. Is if the fish are there, it's just a timing deal. Are they going to be there when it's time to, when you need to catch them, or are they not going to just bite in the time you have? So this dock area, I mean, pre-fishing, it just looked really good. It felt good. And after I caught a couple of nice fish there, I'm like, I'm not leaving here until I have to.
Yeah. Well,
So
go ahead, Johnny.
What size weight were you throwing?
It was the 1/8 ounce.
Okay.
Dirty
Super light.
jigs, shaky head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super light, super slow.
Super light, super slow. Yeah, just like I said, like, I don't know. I've done well a couple tournaments this year by the same sort of technique, except sometimes I'll throw it on a Kitech on a ball head and do the exact same thing at like Folsom or somewhere. And I've done really good doing that. It's not always a bite that produces big fish, but when it does, it seems to work out well for me.
Now would the fish hammer it, or they just feel like you'll get a little heavy?
So I'll tell you, on pre-fish day, the fish were hitting it pretty hard. And I actually drop shotted a few fish with one of the 5-inch floaters from Yamamoto. But on tournament day, I threw it a few times and I didn't get bit. So what happened is there was a change in their behavior, because they were hitting the shaky head on pre-fish pretty hard and they were running away from me. On the tournament day, I think I only felt 5 fish pick up the bait out of all the fish I caught. Like, I would just, let the bait sit there on a slack line, and I'd start to lift the line and it would be like weightless. And I'd be like pulling it, and you'd see the line just drop towards me. Then I'd just reel up to the fish and it'd be there, It's really interesting, because the day before I felt every fish hit it, and they hit it hard. I
Yeah.
think with the weather change and the rain and a little bit of wind we had, that I think they just, I don't know why they were just coming at me. No matter what angle I was at, they seemed to be following the bait, I think. You know, like they were just coming from behind, sucking it up, and just momentum would just bring them towards me.
And that last dock had a nice metal seawall with a little clump of tules just off the end of it.
Not that one.
Not that one.
It's actually just past that.
So there was weather that did come through.
Cold front and some rain.
Cold front came through.
Wind.
What
And wind.
was it? So yeah, that obviously will change anything. Usually on a day of fishing. Matt, was there some word that you got on the water and then you left the water and you went to Starbucks? And
I went to breakfast.
You went to breakfast. So how far in from launch did you actually get back off the water? And
I launched at Brado's to start, and I had found a big school. Like I said, I was going to fish the boat side, so I had run all over the lake, scoping docks and stuff. And that wind on tourney day was forecasted to be 21 mile an hour sustained with gusts to like 36 or something.
Jeez.
And my boat, my Ranger is only 17 foot, and I didn't think I was going to be able to make it through the narrows. And so it was just safer to do the kayak thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that morning I had planned to go to Kono Tai because there's a big school of fish on bait under the dock. And when I got to Brado's, I was talking to Joey Silva, and I'm like, man, I said, where are you headed? And he said, I'm going across. I said, okay, because I'm going to Kono Tai. I said, do you think we can make it back? And he's like, well, what do you mean? And we started looking at the wind. And then I looked up and the flag was already blowing pretty straight. And I was like, scratch that. I said, I'm not going across.
Yeah.
So I was already there. I'd already put the kayak together. And I was like, I'm just going to launch. I said, I'm going to go to Dollar Island. You know, fishing history. I didn't practice there, but Dollar's always got fish. And I had a bunch of spinning rods rigged up for shaking a minnow and that type. And I got to Dollar Island, somewhat protected. It's far enough off the bank that even with a northwest wind, you get some wind, but it's not like big waves or anything. I actually lost a fish on my second cast that was probably 16 or 17 inches right at the boat. That was on a chatterbait with a Yamamoto curl tail. I was throwing all our bait's small in the fall at Clear Lake. So I actually downsized from the jackhammer to the new baby jack.
Mm-hmm.
And throwing that Yamamoto curl tail, a 5-inch curl tail in the back is just, it's a very subtle chatterbait, really. I mean, it's got some thump, but it's not as hard as a full-size jackhammer. And like I said, second cast, I dumped that fish at the boat. Then I started scoping around. There's a big rock down there, and I took the hinge minnow and went over to that big rock, and there was like 5 fish sitting on top of it. Pitched it out there, and as soon as the bait got down, that hinge minnow got down there to him. The first fish ran out and smoked it, and it was 20 and a half inches.
Nice.
The problem is that rock, for whatever reason, I mean, I fish it all the time. There's always a group of fish on it, and you will catch one, and that's it. Nothing after that. I don't care how long you sit there; those fish will not bite again.
Wow.
I spent way too much time on Dollar Island. I think I left there. I didn't fish anything else out there other than Dollar, and I probably sat there until 9:45, 10 o'clock, and never had another fish. And so the weather was terrible. My bite was terrible. I didn't have a good practice, so I was like, man, I don't even know where to go. And I got off the water, and I was like, I told Amanda, I said, I'm just going to go eat breakfast, go get my coffee and my eggs. And I went and sat down at Starbucks, contemplated going home. I was like, nah, I was in really good fish in Rodman for the past month and a half. And for whatever reason, that Friday in practice, they weren't there. I mean, I caught 2 dinks in there, and that was it, like 12-inch fish. But I was like, man, I know those fish are in there. So I was like, whatever, I'll go back to Rodman, just grind it out in there. And like Dana said, it's one, it was a bite window. And 2, that weather killed it. So I had been catching fish up in the brush on a chatterbait leading up to the tournament. And I ran that tournament day. I caught a 19-inch fish right off the bat as soon as I put in. And I stayed in there for probably another 2 hours and really didn't get anything. I had a couple little hits, but that was it. And I was like, something's happened with these fish. And I started scoping around, and I found some grass clumps that were out in the middle, like dead center in the middle of Rodman.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a YAMAMOTO speed Senko, so like basically just a swimming worm.
Yeah.
And I rigged it up on a 16th ounce head, or 16th ounce bullet weight pegged, and flipped it into that grass bed, and just let it lay on the bottom. And I mean, like Dana, it might take 10, 15 seconds, but they would just pick it up. And I had a period of time for about an hour where I think I caught 30 fish.
Wow.
I mean, it was almost back-to-back casts. I had a boat come up in there, and he saw me doing the same thing, so he started doing it out in front of me. They were throwing a drop shot, and we sat there side by side. I ended up with 94 inches fishing off that one grass clump, and he had like 20 and a half pounds, so it was about the same weight I had. It was enough for the win, and they took third on the pro side.
That's crazy.
It was all just literally
the magical just found that magical clump.
Yep. But it only lasted until the rain. As soon as the rain started falling, it just died for me and for the boat. We didn't catch anything else after the rain started.
Interesting.
You know what I found out about those grass mats? So one day in the summertime, there was this grass mat, and I had to get out of the kayak. And I was walking through the grass mat, and it was so much cooler during the summertime that I thought, maybe that's why these fish are always in these grass mats. Mm-hmm. So curious, how I am. I got to check other stuff. So I dropped the thermometer down in the when it was cold, and it was a little bit warmer. So, that's why those fish migrate to those grass mats. It's cooler or warmer.
Interesting.
And you think, rock piles, this time of year at Clear Lake, the rock piles is like the key, yo on a LV, or, throwing a chatterbait or swim bait, but if you can find a grass mat, that could get good in a hurry. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Matt, you had 94 inches. Dana had 88, and Shane, you had 89 and a half inches. And what did you end up going to state or county? What'd you end up doing that day?
So I ended up going to a library park.
Okay.
I started the first day of practice where I found that group of fish, and ever since Thursday's practice was like a little overcasty, kind of stormy. Friday was kind of like hotter, bluebird skies, and it was just, no wind really where I was at in the state park. So I was kind of hoping for the rain and the storm and the whole deal and the wind. Not a lot of wind, but enough for like a reaction bite.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what happened as soon as I got in the water Saturday morning. It was raining pretty good, and like 6:35, I had my first fish in the boat. 6:45, I had my 20 and a half on a chatterbait. It was all black and blue, right on that same stretch when I first started. And I had my limit within 30 minutes. I had like 80 inches in like 30 minutes, right? First thing in the morning, I fished the point where I started in the morning on practice day, and then I went around the corner, and there was like this cut, and I couldn't really see it in the dark, but I knew it was there from practice. And the light started to come out a little bit, and after like my third fish, it started to get a little light out, and I made the same cast for about, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes with the chatterbait, and it was black and blue chatterbait. And I was just having one of those times, dude. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every single minute of it. And
how many fish did you catch that day?
Probably around 20 or so.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of slowed up for me after that first like couple hours. As soon as the rain stopped, it slowed up a little bit. I started flipping around to cowboy in that same area, and I kind of slowed down a little bit because, I didn't beat it up in practice, but I was going to beat it up that day. And I caught a few fish on the cowboy flipping that, and lost a good one. I have a fish story. Obviously, I have a fish story, and broke me off in the sticks. I should have had 65-pound braid on when I was flipping those sticks, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but I had 15-pound in those sticks, and it didn't even I had no hope basically with that fish. It came up, it showed its mouth, and I knew it was a good one, and it sawed me off instantly. And then after that, I kind of just kind of slowed down a little bit in that same area and caught a few more fish on the chatterbait. And then the wind started to pick up a little bit, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up a spinnerbait. I'll show you the chatterbait first. So this was the chatterbait I was throwing, black and blue, 3/8 full size jackhammer. So that caught my big fish in like my quick limit, and then I switched over to this spinnerbait right here. It's a Nichols spinnerbait, a little shad shaped swimmer on the back, and surprisingly, this shad shaped swimmer, it's super durable, and it performs really good on the back of a chatterbait. I even threw it on the flashy swimmer in practice, and it's a little bit of a thinner profile, but man, it lasted about 10, 12 fish, no problem.
Nice.
So I picked up the spinnerbait and kept that locked in my hand the rest of the day. I started hitting the docks around that area, was picking up fish, and then I caught a pretty key cullfish later in the day, flipping inside the toolies. So there was, like Matt said, there was just tons of bait, just little tiny silver sides, I think, just everywhere. I could see them. And they would come up when I would throw my spinnerbait out there. You'd see them all flash, and there was a pod of them in certain spots, and I would throw it on those pods like every single time I'd see them come up. And sometimes I'd get bit, but this time those little fish came up in the toolies. I flipped my spinnerbait in there, and I put a reel out too about that fish, and the toolie shook. It was like a typical, just like awesome moment. Like the toolie shook, spinnerbait got smashed, and it was about an 18.75, and that bumped me up to
nice
89.5 mark. And I had a 15.5 that I just couldn't get rid of. I think Matt posted your fit. You had like 90 inches, I think, when I had last saw before it went dark. I think you were somewhere in there. So I knew I needed more than what I had to get at him, and I didn't know if Dana had upgraded either. And yeah, I mean, it was a super fun day. I had no graphs on my kayak. I just literally went just straight
old school
spinnerbait, chatterbait, no graphs, just doing what I love to do. There was some grass in my area too. There was just kind of clumps of, I think it's hydrilla. Matt probably knows better than me, but just older hydrilla that was still kind of there in certain spots that I was able to kind of key in on too. I could just see them with my glasses, and just like those random stalks of grass. And I had a blast, dude. It was like exactly how I wanted to fish. Like I recorded the whole thing too. I got the YouTube video almost uploaded. It's like a 35-minute video of just straight power fishing for 3 days.
Nice.
I'm super stoked, man. It was a good time. It was
You hit it just right, because those fish are gone from that corner. Amanda and I fished through there on Friday. I think I had 2 fish out of there by that pontoon boat where you posted that reel from.
Yeah,
library.
You'll know exactly where I was at once you see my video. But dude, there was just something about that cut. It was like 7 feet deep, because I put my pole in the water, like old school style, and my pole basically went all the way down, and then I could feel it, and it was pretty deep for that area, and it just went back, and there's like this big willow tree in the back, and just literally made the same cast right there. And I think personally, and why I caught that bigger fish, and I noticed it in practice a little bit, my bigger fish came on that black and blue jackhammer, and I feel like they were either eating like baby crappie or keying in. Those bigger fish were keying in something other than bait, because there was bait everywhere. Like obviously they're eating bait, but I felt like the bigger fish were keyed in on maybe baby crappie is that's just what I thought. So,
yeah. Library Park is probably the one time during a tournament I absolutely I hammered, cleared. It's where I fell in love with jig fishing. Like that day just sealed my love for jig fishing. And it was during a TOC for the Wild West. And it was funny because there was only, was it like the top 5? I think I ended up in 5th place that day, but The top 5, we literally was fishing no more than maybe 50 yards off the library ramp. We didn't go nowhere. We just sat there all day. And that was probably the best day I've ever had at Clear Lake that I could remember.
And one thing I wanted to touch on too, because what Dana said and what Matt said, and even for my case, is one thing I was looking at, because I watched like the guys on Clear Lake, the guides, they put out little videos on Clear Lake here and there, and you could pick up little they give little nuggets sometimes. And I was watching it, and they talked about like in the fall, these fish like group up, and when you find fish, like stay in that area, you're going to get apart, and you're going to catch more fish. And that's exactly what happened with myself, and it sounds like Matt too. Like once you found that one spot, you slow down and you really hammer them, and even that was the case for what I was doing, even though I was power fishing. Like they were just grouped up basically.
So, yeah.
So explain to everybody how you were retrieving the jackhammer, the chatterbait, and the spinnerbait. But yeah, explain it right in detail how you got those bites.
With chatterbait, honestly, like when I was in grass, I was ripping it out, but in that cut, I was just letting it sink all the way to the bottom and kind of just like slow rolling it on the bottom. And sometimes I'd give it a little pop, but I mean, it was so good that by the time I even thought about should I kind of change up the cadence, that they were eating it. So, and then obviously I kind of flipped it into that buck brush too a little bit. And with the chatterbait, when I'm flipping buck brush, I really want to keep my rod tip high and kind of almost keep it subsurface, because if you let it sink in that buck brush, you're going to get hung up. So they were coming up and eating it there as well in the buck brush, and then in the grass. And then the spinnerbait, you could throw it in that buck brush and it comes through it pretty easily. So I was flipping that spinnerbait shallow in the brush, and then flipping it shallow in the toolies too, almost like a jig in the toolies, and then just bringing it out or paralleling the toolies as well, just depending on what angle I was at. But they were also sitting, even in practice, I found this too, like right on the dock pilings. It didn't matter if it was a metal one or a wood one. I was flipping that spinnerbait in there kind of like a jig and letting it sink to the bottom, and then just kind of fishing around those dock pilings too. And I fish a lot of docks here where I live as well. So like I said, for the first time at Clear Lake, I felt just like so comfortable, and I just love it even more now that I have like keyed in on power fishing. I'm jealous, Matt. I really am.
So I think we're all jealous of Matt.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going to be this weekend?
Yeah.
What is it? Like a 30-minute drive for you, Matt?
So fun.
It's about an hour and 15 to Redbud and about an hour and 20 to the north.
Yeah, so about the same amount of time I drive from here to McClure.
Yeah.
So Shane, with that spinnerbait, how I caught him is you really had to get back in the pockets. Occasionally you catch them on the points, but it seemed like the day of the tournament, practice, the fish were on the points of the toolies. But the day of the tournament, for me, I had to get it and throw the spinnerbait back in the little pockets. And as soon as it would hit, you'd turn your reel over and you'd have one on. They would hit it. So that was it like that for you with the spinnerbait?
The big fish was back in a pocket, but majority of them was kind of just paralleling it or in the brush or paralleling the brush. On tournament day, I didn't really catch any fish on those toolie points. I hit them hard. The wind was hitting them right. I tried hitting it from different angles, like seeing which way the fish was facing and stuff. And I didn't really pick up anything on the points, but yeah, flipping it and then paralleling the brush too was key for me. So fun, dude. Gosh dang.
Yeah. So Matt, you explained really well how you were catching them. Now, with the grass bed that you were fishing, were you fishing in the middle of it, on the outside of it? You throw it in the middle, bring it to the outside. What was the key over there?
So
there's always something.
Yeah. So the grass clump I found was about the size of my pro angler. It was sitting in 6 feet of water. I got over on the side in like 2.5 feet of water, and I power pulled down. And I would you're not really fan casting over a large area because it's only, like I said, it's only about the size of a kayak. But I would just start on one end with a scope and I would throw the bait or throw the worm into the grass bed, let it sink to the bottom, and just leave it. And if they didn't pick it up instantly, I would drag it maybe 6 inches and then leave it again. Usually within probably the first 2 or 3 drags, I caught the fish. Now I caught a 14.5, got him to the boat. I unhooked him and tossed the bait over the side and laid him on my board and went to raise my camera up to take a picture, and my rod went slamming against the side of the kayak. I had a 15.5 that picked it up off the bottom underneath the kayak.
Oh, funny.
But it was literally it was all dead stick. And the boater, that's what I told him. I was like, because he wasn't catching fish at first. And I was like, hey man, slow down with your drop shot. He's like, what do you mean? I said, just throw it and leave it sit. And so that's how he started catching them. So they really, as much as they were feeding heavily and we were catching them one after the other,
you really had to keep it still.
Yeah. I mean, they hit it hard, but it was like they didn't want it moving a whole lot. So I don't know if it was, like I said, we caught, between the boat and me, we probably caught 60 fish in an hour. So I don't know if those fish were slashing through those big balls of bait and then picking up the dead or crippled ones off the bottom. But I mean, that was the bite, as it was dead sticking.
Mm-hmm. So then Shane and Dana, the docks you were fishing, was it the pillars on the outside were the key, or was it didn't matter? What was the deal with that?
For me, it was pretty much, it didn't really matter. I did figure out that the fish didn't like it from shallow to deep. They wanted to either parallel in the same water, level. I was fishing like 4 to 8 feet. They liked it parallel or from the deeper to shallow. And that's for, even if I would set myself up between docks and cast past them and bring it up, and they would like pretty much be, they wouldn't be next to the pillar necessarily. I did catch my 2 larger fish more closer to the docks, and one of them was under the dock actually. But most of the other fish all came just basically casting out in about 7-8 foot of water, bring towards the dock. But like I said, most of the time they didn't eat it a lot of times until I got it pretty much back all the way back in.
I think what's cool about Dana's fish, that area over there at Holiday and Aurora, that's where all the guides are right now. They're all out there shaking a minnow, and they're all live or throwing an LV on those bait balls.
Right.
And just like me, in Rodman prior to the tournament, I was smashing them fishing reaction. Tournament day, it didn't work. All those guides were there on tournament day too, and none of them caught fish. I think Zach had 10 pounds, Ostrander had 15, and John Pearl had 14. And they all stayed in that area trying to do the quick shaking a minnow bite, or some of the guys got the old school Yamamoto lipless, and I know a couple of those guys did. Ostrander had a couple, and they were trying to fish that way. And just like my fish during practice on tournament day, they didn't want that. They wanted a slow worm on the bottom, which is why Dana was able to catch them, and all those guides just bombed in the tournament.
Right. So Shane,
something about that weather change.
Yeah, Shane, was it the outside of the pillar docks, or did it matter?
It was the inside pillars of the docks, like the shallow part of them, because I think they had the bait pushed up shallow. So nothing really out deeper for me. Just everything was shallow.
And when you say shallow, what, 3 feet, 2 feet?
Yeah, 3 feet.
3 feet.
Mm-hmm. Like every time I threw up close to the bank, there was just like those silver sides, like just loaded. Like, yeah, and the bird, like I had birds everywhere. They were showing me where to cast for sure.
Yeah, isn't that great when you're fishing? All the birds around you, you're like, I'm gonna get bit here any minute.
When there's a heron shallow, like I go over there.
Yeah, especially if there's 3 or 4 in a bank.
In the world for sure. So, yeah.
So Matt, I'm curious the mindset when you got off that water and had your breakfast. How long of a time was the turnaround from eating breakfast and then making the decision to get back out on the water?
I left Brado's at 10, and I got back on the water at 12:30. So,
see what I remember. What was it? The Oh man, what was that tournament we had up there that was so the weather north was just so bad? What tournament was that? It's on
This past year was the team event.
Yeah,
no. Well, we had no.
Oh, the native event.
The native event.
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
Yep.
I launched out of, I think it was State Park I launched out of, and just getting off the water and going south where it was a lot calmer. That was just a little bit of a slap in the brain. You know what I mean? Like I had to reset, and then it's, I lost all that time and got back out on the water, but just the mindset to turn around, get back on the water, and then you end up winning the tournament. Like it just, goes to show sometimes you just need a mental break, clear to mind. And, you just happen to come upon, a grass clump and 6 feet of water that's just holding fish.
That's what I did this past weekend too.
Is it? What did you have this past weekend?
I fished the NorCal Kayak Alliance.
Oh,
TOC,
that's right. Yep.
And I swapped ramps, the same 2 ramps. I started at Brado's and went to Rodman.
Wow.
That's like a 40-minute drive, isn't it?
Nah, it's 27 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah. And what did you end up pulling out of for that tournament? Like inches?
Total was only 88 inches. 88? I think it was 88 or 84. But I pulled a 21 1/4 out of Rodman, a 16, and I had one other upgrade that came out of there.
Nice.
And it's terrible. I did not GoPro in the Yamamoto tournament because of the weather. It rained.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. I said I'll run cameras for this NCKA TOC, and I ran cameras all day. When I relaunched at Rodman, I did restart the camera, and I fished, and the only thing I didn't get on camera was about the last 40 minutes, which is when I caught 2 of the upgrades. My camera, my GoPro, it's the second time it's done it. It'll just shut off. I mean, it doesn't beep or anything. It just shuts off.
Yeah,
I lose footage because I don't know it happens. It did it at Salt Springs Valley when I fished that tournament. Same thing.
Yeah, I've noticed it. I've had a few occasions, and I don't know if maybe it does beep and I just don't hear it. Maybe I'm just too busy, making racket or something, and I don't hear it. But it has happened a couple times.
Mine doesn't beep. It's almost like it loses power because when you turn it back on, it says repairing file, please wait, and then you've lost everything.
Oh, bad.
Yeah. The worst is when I stopped it, took off my sweatshirt, put it back on. And then I went a couple hours, I'm catching fish, and I'm talking to the camera, and then all of a sudden I'm like, look down, I'm like, oh shit, my camera, I never turned it back on. Yep. Yeah.
Well, this past Saturday, that's what happened. I got to the back of Rodman, and I turned around to work my way back to the front, and I turned to the camera, and I was like, come on, Rodman, I know you got something in here. And on that cast, I caught the 21 1/4. And I'm like, yes. And I took the fish, and the baby jack was all the way down its throat. And I put it up at the camera. I'm like, look at that. When they swallow it like that, you know you're doing the right thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, that camera's not on.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Do you use an external battery, or do you have a battery in your GoPro at all times, or no?
No, I use an external battery bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
I was reading on it today. I guess sometimes it can be a memory card issue. Like if you have a memory card that's got a bad spot in it, it'll cause it to do it. Sometimes it's the battery bank if it doesn't give clean power. I was trying to look into it today. But I told Amanda, I said, man, it makes me want to run 2 cameras, up top on the pole and one on the chest. That way you don't lose everything.
Yeah. Well, I noticed sometimes if because I noticed mine was turning off, and it should have been. Well, then I realized I left the battery in it. And I realized sometimes if the battery's in it and you're running charge at all time on it, it'll overheat because the battery gets hot. So,
yeah.
I appreciate you guys all coming on tonight. Matt,
thank you.
Yeah, you guys freaking rocked it, dude. And Shane, It was great to see you come up here, man. I know it's quite a drive for you to get all the way up here, and it's just like us. We got to drive. It would be nice if California was smaller. Let's just put it that way. So, Matt, I know you have a YouTube channel. Shane, you got one. Dana, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do not.
You not yet. Okay. Matt, why don't you share your YouTube channel? Thank your sponsors. Shane, same with you. And Dana, if you got any sponsors, give them a shout out too. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I do everything under the outdoorpowercouple.com. So it's YouTube channels under the Outdoor Power Couple, Instagram and Facebook. Sponsor wise, I got AFCO, Z-Man, Dakota Lithium, Torquedo, Hobie, Kayak City. I think that's it for now. But obviously, I use them all. I paired even in the Yamamoto tournament. You know, I stuck with that Baby Jack with the Yamamoto curl tail, which is what I've been throwing for about a month and a half now as just a phenomenal trailer for that bait. I gave some to Joey Silva at this last tournament this last weekend, and he was like, "Man, you like that curl tail?" I'm like, "Oh, phenomenal if you're trying to downsize and want something more subtle."
I don't know if Joey's fish is slow. Shane, what about you, man?
Everything's under Bass Thumbs Fishing on Instagram and YouTube, and got to thank Yamamoto, Bonafide, the whole GSM brand, Motor Guide. Well, they're not around anymore, so now it's Lowrance, Bonafide, Kayak Fishing Supplies, Rely on Lithium, and I got to give a shout out too to one of my good friends. He owns his own tractor business, Fast Track Rentals. He helps me when I travel, which is super awesome. So got to give him a shout out. Helps with the gas and everything. So super cool. And then, yeah, my wife too for holding it down, you know, getting away for 4 days.
Of course.
Super thankful for that. And yeah, just the whole kayak community. It was fun. I've been in the bass boat recently, you know, because of where I live. This is kind of a bass boat community. I've been fishing with a lot of those guys, but it felt really good to get back with the kayak community and get back with seeing Matt and just seeing a bunch of the guys up there. And we all just had a great time. And it's so fun putting those fish on the catch board, you know, seeing the leaderboard light up, even when Matt passes you and ruins your day. But it was fun. It was really fun. And I hope I can make it up there again soon. Southern California, you know, we just have SoCal kayak anglers right now, not a big national scene down here. So hopefully next year I'm able to come back up there again. Me and the guys were talking about that when we were on our way home. It's just so fun to fish your guys' bodies of water and challenge us a little bit. And definitely at the Clear Lake events, I'm going to have to come back up. I love that place. So, and thank you guys for having me on too.
Oh, of course. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
If you guys ever come up, man, I'm kind of halfway to only a couple hours from Clear Lake. We got plenty of space up here. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dana, what about you? Anyone you'd like to thank?
Well, first off, should probably thank my wife. You know, she does support me in these endeavors I'm always on.
Yeah.
And also Mike Knott from North Bay Fishing Tackle, a new store that opened up in Rohnert Park. You know, I help him out once a week there. And he's been pretty supportive, you know, and I think he's going to start helping out, donating to all these kayak organizations up here during tournaments next year. So hopefully,
oh, nice.
You know, he can keep growing because he's very small and only been open a few months. So
yeah.
Cool. And obviously my brother, Casey, for, you know, basically having someone to talk to you about fishing, you know?
Sure.
Right.
It's just, you know, we always fight each other, you know, on boat tournaments, you know, when we're partners, you know, like what we should do. But in a kayak world, we can each do our own thing. And it's sort of fun to have that, you know. He wins one. I beat him in one. He beats me in another. You know, it's all good.
Yeah. Brotherly love. Let's put it that way. So.
And thank you guys for having me on. And thank Yamamoto for doing the tournament. It was a fun tournament.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
One more thing. Maybe Shane, you could explain how Brad caught that big fish.
Yeah.
Double digit.
Yeah. So how much did he say how much that fish ended up weighing? Did he weigh it?
He didn't have a scale on him, so he didn't weigh it. But it was, what was it, 23.75?
23.75. I mean, that's got to be pushing close to 10 pounds.
Yeah, Matt and, you know, some of the guys at Clear Lake Outdoors. Sorry, my kid's asking me for something right here.
Oh, no worries, man.
Okay, you got to turn the power It was between 8 and 10 pounds. Let's just put it there. It was a great fish, and
It was a grown fish.
I think it had a really good shot, and I think it definitely was. It was probably the biggest fish, even out of the boater side, because the boater side, I think the big fish man was like 760 or something.
770 or something. Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely a big fish for the day. And he's a really good friend of mine. He's an awesome guy. He supports us in our friend group. He gets the Airbnb, and he's super motivated and just good guy to be around. And he's done really well at Clear Lake in the past. And again, he, didn't catch the limit he wanted, but he got the big fish of the tournament. And he said he went over to, he launched at Brados. He went over to one of the islands over there. I don't know exactly which one it was, but it was one of the islands, and flipped his Senko up in the Toolies Texas rig, and
8-pound test.
8-pound test, guys.
Yeah,
with a 3/16 rig, Texas rig Senko. So
yeah, and he actually shouted out it's a new color by Yamamoto, and I don't have it right here at this moment. But
black, blue, green, pumpkin.
The same Zako color that everybody loves. It's actually, the color is actually called Zako. Like if you buy the Zako color of it, but yeah, it's black and blue with green pumpkin on the bottom, and they make it now in a Senko, and it's one of my favorite colors in general. Like even when I'm flipping any kind of creature bait or anything, and it was funny because like the guys, obviously it was a Yamamoto based only tournament, and I'm sponsored by them, and I brought up ask John. I brought up a giant box,
of
100-pound
box,
and helped the guys out. And we were all just going through it. And he grabbed some of those Senkos, and look at that, friggin'.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't know if the color made a complete difference, but it was a new color. So maybe the fish didn't see that specific Senko color.
That's awesome.
That was the second one he caught. He caught one in practice that was almost that size.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he catch on a Senko?
Same.
I don't remember.
Same
he caught it in a worm.
No. He caught the practice one on a spinnerbait.
Yeah.
On a spinnerbait.
In the same area.
He sent a picture to the group. It was like a pretty big, good sized spinnerbait.
23 1/4 or 23 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
It was another probably 8-pound fish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He has a ton of confidence there, and he would say that on here. He just loves that place. He's kind of a power fisherman as well. He loves to, get up thick, but even though he's throwing 8-pound tests, so that kind of goes.
Yeah.
He likes to just power fish, and he had fun, and it was.
He's definitely playing with fire with 8-pound tests for sure.
Yeah, he was behind the island, and the wind picked up, and he told me that he went out and put his kayak to the nose where the wind was, and he had to go backwards. And he went backwards to go back where he was, and he's catching nothing but small ones. And he goes, man, I got to put my big boy pants on, and he tied everything down, and the wind kind of settled a little bit, and he went for it. He said it was rough.
Yeah, because he launched from Brados and went over to Windflower.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Over there.
Yeah.
Across the open water.
Yeah, big balls there. Oh man. That's the one thing about Clear Lake. That wind picks up, dude. It's no fun for anybody.
He called me before daylight. He said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine. What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, I just want to check on you because I know you did like I did, and you went on the back side of the islands." I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm fine." He's like, "Okay, just want to make sure you're good." I was like, "Well, I appreciate it, man."
Yeah, I called him, I don't know, around 10 or 11 or something, and he didn't answer. And I was like, uh-oh. And then he texted and said that, "I'm okay, I'm good," And then he called me. He goes, "Dude, it was rough."
Yeah, because it was blowing straight down the Narrows, straight to where he went. So he came back in the full force of that wind.
Yeah, crazy. He said he saw some bass boats come around the corner, hit the Narrows, and they all did the same thing. I don't know if you guys can see
that picture.
Yeah, we can. Jeez.
Yeah, it was a good one, dude.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Camera never does justice in that. I mean, you could tell just the girth of that thing, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Fish Brad.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you very much. Look at that. Jeez.
Yeah, it was
a fatty.
Man. Well, thank you for coming on. Greatly appreciate you guys jumping on tonight, and wish you guys all the best coming up through the holidays and into the new year. I just want to take a few moments, guys. We have October 15th up at Lake Berryessa at Pleasure Cove. We decided to change it to Pleasure Cove just in case from Puda, just because
The wind.
the wind. If it gets really windy up there at Puda, it's not going to be fun for anybody. So,
No.
guys, we have the Fish and Chill, Headwaters Fish and Chill happening up at Berryessa. We're going to be up there at about 8 o'clock in the morning is when the gates open. We'd love for anybody to come out. Just, all it is just to hang out, have some, we're going to have some pie, some treats. We're going to fish from like 8 till 3 o'clock, get off the water and just kind of hang out, do the OG style event. So really would appreciate anybody come up. It's right before Thanksgiving. So, Matt, you going to be able to make it? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Probably.
Okay, cool.
Probably.
Shane, I know you wish you'd come. A little bit of a drive just for that. Dana, we would love to have you out there too, man.
All right, I'll look.
Maybe get Casey to come too. That'd be kind of cool too. So, Johnny, I know you're going to try to make it, hopefully.
Yeah, it's kind of doubtful. For me, it's a 3-hour drive.
I know. That's the one thing, man. And you can't make everyone from the south happy. Then you can't make the people from the north happy. So,
yeah.
It
depends.
So,
It depends on my
yeah. No, I get you, man. Johnny, we have some sponsors to thank too.
do. Yeah. So P-Line, First Gen, Headwaters Adventures, obviously, at Rancho Cordova. If you haven't been in their store, you need to stop by. They got it fully packed, and they got some great deals going on right now. So go by there and tell them that we sent you. We'd appreciate that. And then Boyano Batteries. So 10, TEN, capital 10. They give you 10% off. And the First Gen, that's Anglers RX 10.
Number 10.
Yeah, number 10. And you get 10% off that as well. So support our sponsors if you would. We'd appreciate that. We appreciate everybody coming on and everybody listening. And you guys have a safe October, November, December, January, and we'll see you at the competition in February, probably.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So we're going to start off at Clear Lake in January. So we want to get the kayaks out there and get some rough water and some crazy winds and throw some halos. No, I'm just joking. That body of water in a boat's bad enough. Getting a kayak,
Oh man,
you're very limited to where you could fish. That's for sure.
It's so good in January, though.
Right. Yeah, scoping and A-rigs, right?
Probably nobody on the water too.
Oh, there's plenty.
Oh, is there?
There's always someone on that water every day.
When it's 30-pound bags every day, there's plenty of guys up there chasing them.
Yeah.
I'll stick to Lake McClure. It's only an hour drive away, and shoot, there's only two of us there all day. Not one boat pulls up usually. So, just kidding. I'd rather be up at Clear Lake, to be honest with you. So, all right, guys. Well, have a great night. Thank you again. Appreciate y'all. So,
Thank y'all.
Enjoy the evening. All right. Take care.
Great evening.